during the first century, the Italian city of Pompeii was a thriving resort of the Roman Empire. It was located approximately 6 miles south of Mount Vesuvius and covered an area of some 160 acres. This city of wealth, pleasure, and immorality had a population of 20,000 people. On August 24, AD 79, life was going on as usual. Housewives prepared breakfast for their families, the bread was in the oven, eggs were on the stove, men were going to work, children played in the streets, and the shops were open for business. On that day, no one noticed anything out of the ordinary about the 4,000-foot mountain. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the city was shaken by a violent earthquake, and then Mount Vesuvius erupted with the sound of a thunderclap. The first explosion spewed out of its crater lethal gas, ash, and smoke that rose high into the sky. The people were terrified, and thousands fled at once to the sea and kept going until they were out of danger. Unfortunately, there were some who disregarded the explosion and remained behind. Many delayed in leaving the doomed city. Some stayed to bury their valuables, while others loaded their possessions onto small carts. As they wheeled their overloaded carts, the people merged toward the narrow city gates, which created a terrible traffic jam. At that moment, the angry mountain sent forth its deadly gases and volcanic ash over the city, and the terrified people perished. They were mostly the wealthy who refused to abandon their precious homes and possessions, hoping that the danger would pass after the first explosion. Of the 20,000 inhabitants of Pompeii, 16,000, 4/5 of the entire population, perished under 30 feet of volcanic debris. Thus, the thriving city of pleasure and commerce became a huge burial ground. What lessons can we learn from this terrible tragedy? For one thing, our possessions should not hinder us as we travel to our place of refuge, the heavenly kingdom. We are not to hold on to overloaded carts at the expense of eternal salvation. Another lesson we can draw from the history of Pompeii is that after the first explosion of Vesuvius, there were people who delayed leaving the city. It was this delay that cost them their lives. They were victims of the paralysis of procrastination, a spiritual disease that affects a person's attitude and better judgment. The city of Pompeii is an example and a startling object lesson to those living in the last generation of Earth's history. Mount Vesuvius erupted when the people were totally unprepared for the catastrophe. The sudden and violent explosions came at a time when the people did not foresee any threat of danger from the volcano. For 16 years before the explosions, the inhabitants of the city witnessed Vesuvius puffing out its smoke and vapors. It was a constant sign and warning of danger. This is very similar to what will happen just before Jesus returns. The wicked will see the smoke warning through the signs of the times, but will ignore them. They will continue to transgress the 10 Commandments until a final explosion that will terminate all of civilization. Jesus says to all people in the world, "But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son but the Father. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh.